See, got my
All right. Welcome to the What the Fuck America podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jake, along with co host Matt. And we're going to just rant and rave today. You'll hear some very loud yelling. So,
cool.
yeah. Did we call it or did we call it about that border crisis?
Totally called it. I'd like to congratulate you on being one of the first to report it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
the first to report it.
Yep. It was, it's just the most insane thing how, you have these policies that were working under Trump, not allowing thousands and thousands of refugees to pour in, and then you have Biden get rid of all that, and then all of a sudden, oh no, now we have thousands and thousands of refugees per day, and it was just a shit show down at the border. I mean, they have kids sleeping under bridges in fucking burrito wrappers, basically.
Yeah. Those are thermal blankets.
Yeah, thermal blankets.
Yeah.
But I say burrito wrappers to be racist.
Yeah. And they're sleeping on the dirt. No press is allowed down there right now.
Yep.
So it's very interesting. And
Yep.
they're not concentration camps because no one's doing any actual work. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Well, according to AOC, the ones under Trump, and this is what I'm going to kind of rant on today. How is someone who has an IQ below 7 in the United States Congress? Like, I really want answers. How did we fuck up so bad to let someone so daft, so imbecilic, so functionally retarded into the fucking office? I don't understand.
Because it's one less white man.
Oh yes, affirmative action. We need affirmative action in the United States.
Is that what that is? Is that what affirmative action is?
Yeah, she's a diversity hire.
Oh shit. That's okay. Everybody's got them.
Yep. It's I can't stand AOC and all of her hypocrisies. She goes, what's happening down at the border under Trump is they're literal concentration camps. And then now when she talks about Joe Biden and his border crisis, and she talks about the kids in detention facilities, not cages, detention facilities, it's a little bit linguistic warfare. When we say linguistic warfare, it means one word means one thing, another word has another meaning. So concentration camps
means more than one thing.
Yep. Concentration camps are the same exact thing as kids in detention centers under AOC's lexicon. So it's but anyway, so she's just full of pure hypocrisy. She cares nothing about principles, nothing about pretty much anything that should govern a decent moral person. Not that I'm saying I am one, but I like to rely on principles rather than saying anything I can to gain power, like she does.
Well, none of them are decent moral people. None of them should have the jobs they fucking have.
Yeah. I mean,
there might be a few. Like, I don't mean to shout in your face, but I'm just saying there might be a few that are okay. But like I constantly say, politicians are bad.
Yeah.
Okay. That's like the only principle of the Jedi that I really would like to agree with, I think.
Yeah.
Politicians bad.
It's
bad.
Politicians bad. Yep. I mean, what is the general function of a politician? It is to make laws to obstruct your freedoms. I mean, that's all a politician does. That's not all a politician should do. Politicians should take heed of the times, see which way the wind is blowing, and make laws to maximize freedom, to give as much freedom to the greatest number of people possible. Because the more freedoms we have, the better the society. So
don't see society getting better unless this is the way society gets better, by it literally going down a fucking toilet.
Yeah, I think you got to have the good with.
Like it's going down the toilet. Let's just put it that way. Okay. There's no war actually happening right now, which would probably benefit this country in some sort of fashion. There's nothing. There is nothing happening except our president is 100 fucking years old and doesn't remember he doesn't probably put his own goddamn clothes on in the morning.
No, I highly doubt it. Yeah. What's interesting is we might actually have war with Russia coming up soon. Because I think it was Ukraine was it Ukraine? What country was it? I gotta go find it now. Damn it, I said no news articles today. And here I am being an asshole.
See, I want Velcro shoes because I'm fucking lazy. He needs Velcro shoes because he has no brains anymore.
Yeah, he can't tie yes. So it was Ukraine. President Zelensky has demanded immediate NATO membership. And basically that's kind of throwing down the gauntlet to Russia, saying, hey, we're sick of this bullshit. I know we broke the ceasefire and you broke the ceasefire. Let's calm this shit down. We're getting into NATO. But
well, that's not good.
No, that's not a good sign at all.
That's kind of like what's happening in Taiwan.
Yep.
But nobody recognizes Taiwan as a sovereign nation because then they'd all be going to war with fucking China.
Yep.
And nobody wants to go to war with fucking China.
I do.
Except us. Except us. The real, true American.
The freedom fighters. The freedom fighters
want to go to war with China.
There was apparently a new report. I haven't verified this or done any digging on it, but there was apparently a report that apparently Christians are now being put into detention centers in China as well, and being forced
to do air quotes.
Yes, those are air quotes there. Detention centers, and are being forced to renounce their Christianity. So that's cool. I guess the only religion in China, yeah. So they got I haven't verified it yet.
I thought they had a really big Christian population. I thought.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy.
Let me see if I can find that article that I read again.
Well, I say, give our men and women in uniform a chance to blow off some steam, because we're all racist white people. Let them be racist white people in another country and take it.
And take it over. Yeah. I would love to
apparently the only way to get along in this world is saying outrageous, ridiculous things. So you're going to hear a lot of that shit tonight. And I stand firm on taking Mexico away from the Mexican government. They don't deserve to have their country.
Yep.
If we have to have a bunch of squatters laying on the fucking floor at our borders where we got to keep those fucking dusty fucking roads swept, let me tell you, we should send them the fucking bill.
It's time to annex 2/3 of Mexico.
They should want us to fucking take them over. Think about it. The way the American government works is within the next 5-6 years, all drugs will be legal federally in the country, and the cartels will be the next Jeff Bezos, and they'll be able to go to the G4 and say whatever the hell they want, and they could be just as corrupt as they are now. They just don't have to kill as many people, and they'll be backed up by a fucking military. So there you go. We take Mexico, and then the Mexican people can just stay in Mexico if they want to be there.
Yep. Well, and that's the biggest issue too, is I can't stand all this. Oh, yep. Here's the article. Let's see here. I just can't stand all the grandstanding on America's the most racist thing in the world and all this other bullshit, like with the voter ID laws, which we're going to get into today, and the N-word. the N-word might make its first appearance here tonight on this stupid ass podcast.
Oh my god!
And I apologize in advance.
I apologize. You're a white guy. You're a single.
Oh yeah, I'm a racist anyway.
30-year-old man. You're a fucking racist. So don't worry about it. You can say whatever you want, because one day you'll be you know what? We'll get our 15 minutes of fame. They'll go, that guy said the N-word fucking 20 years ago.
Yep.
You know, and I'll be sitting there with a fucking oxygen tank if I make it that long. So, you know, I got your back, buddy.
Perfect. So this is according to Breitbart. Witnesses: China imprisoning Christians in underground brainwashing torture centers. Eyewitnesses told Radio Free Asia in a report published Thursday that Chinese Communist Party officials imprisoned them in mobile brainwashing centers designed to make them renounce Christianity. Christianity is legal under the Communist Chinese Party regime, only under the Chinese Catholic Church, ran by the party, not the Vatican. So yeah, I'll have to look into this a little bit more. But it's not just the Muslims in there in China; it's also the Christians. Anything that goes against the CCP shall be brainwashed.
And that's why there's organizations within our government, like the family, that have strong Christian ties. You know, that's why that's why the Catholic Church is so prominent, even with all the priests touching little boys and shit like that. The Catholic Church ain't never going away, buddy. I'm sorry. No. Unless a fucking unless the Pope is literally assassinated and they nuke Vatican City, there's no way Catholicism goes away.
Even then, I don't think.
Even then, I don't even think an alien incursion. It would take one human to go. Yeah. Oh Jesus! Thank God.
Yeah. Yep.
Christianity never goes away. I'm sorry. Now, things like Buddha and Allah and all the stories and all the myths and the legends and this and that might go away here, depending on the human that survives cataclysmic event, with
death event,
or who knows? They might fucking grow a T-Rex one day. Who knows?
Yep.
Seeing as every fucking movie we saw in the 90s and the early 2000s is literally coming true. Well, except for 1984. But 1984, No,
that one's definitely coming true.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That one didn't really come out in the 90s.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that one came out in what, like 18 or the 19?
Yeah, the book was
20 something or whatever.
Probably, yes. I don't know. Orson Welles. Who was that? Wells?
I thought he was early.
He probably was. Hold on. Actually, the movie came out in 84. So that's kind of cool. I remember seeing it. It was so boring.
See, I don't think I ever saw the movie.
It's really boring. But you know who it has in it? What's his face? Hurt. John Hurt.
Oh, interesting. That's the dude from Hellboy, right?
Yeah, the doctor.
Yeah.
And kill him, and he goes all sick, nasty when they kill the guy.
Yeah. So this one came out in 1944. Yeah. I think it says.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, by George Orwell.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
They have the fucking thought police, man. It's like it is now. The thought police. That's what fucking Twitter and Facebook are, dude.
Well, that's what all these social media, Google, Facebook, Twitter, all of them. Yeah. You're kicked off if you have any opinion that diverges from the Borg. Essentially, it's insane. And then to kind of piggyback off of Orwell, one of the movies when I was growing up and in school, they always had us watch Animal Farm. And one quote that has always stuck with me is, "Some animals are more equal than others." And I think that's when the wolves were talking to the pigs, I want to say. I'm going to actually search that up quick.
looking at all these crazy revelation shit, strange coincidence is the book of Revelations referring to our times. It's funny because I think every couple of years this happens and you see people quoting the Bible like, oh my God, this is happening. And it's usually the end. So Revelations.
Yep. Well, I mean, they said the vaccine passports are the mark of the beast because according to scripture, you can't buy, trade, or sell during or without the mark of the beast. Which, what can't you do if you don't have the COVID vaccine passport? You can't go to the. You can't do anything. It's papers, please. It's literally papers, please.
Right.
And that's what one thing I don't understand how people can rationally think that giving government power over any part of your life is a good idea. And granted, this is private businesses that would enforce this. So that's fascism. It's when the government and corporations combine to rule, essentially.
Yeah. It's Orwell, man. That's Orwell.
Yep.
Orwellian, they call it, right?
Yep.
The Ministry of Truth.
Ministry of Truth.
Yep.
There was
Freedom
actually
slavery.
There was actually someone actually wanted to create the Ministry of Truth recently. I can't remember. I think it was like the New York Times or something.
Well, there's an art exhibit. There's an art exhibit where someone did it. It's like a big deal. It's like comparing a lot of different aspects of 1984 and 2020.
Yep.
So
yeah it's very
Truth,
similar.
Yeah.
There's always there's a bunch of T-shirts out there that always say that have the picture of 1984, and they say this was a dystopian novel, not a manual on how to run society, and it always makes me laugh. But yeah, let's talk about these. Let's talk about the one that's going to make the N-word slip out tonight. Let's talk about these racist voter ID laws.
Okay.
So, Matt.
Here we go. Yes.
I have a couple questions for you.
I'm not white.
You're Italian. I don't think they count as white.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
actually know.
Do
they?
I think they fucking do. Unless you're talking to like a Puerto Rican guy or something, then they're like, "No, you ain't white. You're Italian." Talk to a black guy, he might tell you, "You ain't fucking white guy."
Yep. So let me ask you a couple of questions. When you worked at a liquor store, what was something you often had to ask people for?
Their identification.
Oh, and did all the black people tell you to go fuck yourself? I don't know where the DMV is, and I can't afford it.
No, but a lot of people, there were people that were like, I'm fucking 100. Why do I gotta show you my fucking ID and shit like that? I don't got one and stuff like that. But then I kind of look at them and I'm like, oh yeah, probably don't need an ID because you don't fucking work, right?
Yeah. You
know who always had an ID?
Who? Mexicans. Okay. Fucking Mexicans. So when they buy alcohol, they need an ID.
Yes,
and they often had an ID. All right.
Yes.
So
it's a rule, right? It's a rule.
Yep.
You got to follow the rules, right?
Yep.
I mean, kinda, right?
You would think so. I mean, I choose to not follow laws that I think are bullshit because I don't fucking care.
I kind of just live life, and if someone tells me I'm doing something illegal, I'm like, oh shit.
Did anyone get hurt? No.
Yeah, it's fine. A lot of times I don't even realize. One time I found out that you're not actually supposed to cross the street with a fucking duck on your head. I wasn't carrying a duck on my head. Someone just told me that. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very
It's
strange.
one of those weird, like 1726 laws.
Yeah,
that make no.
Yeah.
Yep. One of the
Don't
things
look
that
at the church. You'll burn
yeah,
in hell.
one of the things I don't follow, which funnily enough is on the topic of IDs, is I never go anywhere with my driver's license because I don't ever break laws, and if I were to break a law, I wouldn't want my ID on me anyways.
Well, I guess that's fair enough.
And so
you never leave your house with your wallet?
Nope. I have a debit card, and that's about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that is a form of ID, because when you go somewhere and they say I need 2 forms of ID, that actually, kind of works out. So I guess.
Interesting. I did not know that. But
also,
no, I just
if you were to get pulled over, they would just ask you for your name, and they'd say, "Where's your driver's license?" And you say, "I don't fucking do that," and they would know though, because
in Wisconsin, it's mandatory. You have to have your ID with you.
Well, that's ridiculous.
And yeah, I just choose not to follow that. I'll fight that. I'll fight that till the day I die. I don't think you are required to have your ID on you at all times. If I have done nothing wrong, let me go. And that's a big thing too. Is I am more than okay with black people not carrying their IDs on them 24/7. I don't think anyone should have to. I think it's bullshit. If I'm doing something wrong, I'll tell you my name. That's all there is to it. You have, everyone has a Facebook, everyone has a fucking Twitter, everyone has you can find what you need to find online today. Especially these cops that have background checks and all this bullshit, and your pictures everywhere. It's everywhere, literally everywhere.
Yeah, their body camera probably takes a nice little picture of you, and they can know who you are in like 10 seconds.
Yep.
They could know what you had for breakfast if you're one of those people.
Yep. So it's one of those things that always has annoyed the shit out of me. Is every time I've gotten pulled over, I've always said, "Yeah, I don't have my ID on me." And one time, actually, I thought this is about where my life was about to end. Me and a couple of friends were on our way to go see Iron Man 2 when it first came out, and I was driving a little fast because we were about 10 minutes away from the movie theater, and the movie started in about 7 minutes. So I may have been driving 20 miles over the speed limit. And we ended up getting pulled over. And I think I had actually had my ID on me at that time, but I dropped it at the store like an asshole. And so the cop, he pulls me over. He's like, license and registration, please. And I'm like, I don't have either of those things. He was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And he was kind of being a little bit of a dick. And this is back when I had my old Chevy Malibu, and I had just recently gotten pulled over, like yesterday or the day before, for speeding. And so he was giving me this ridiculous attitude. I wasn't having it. I'm like, dude, Iron Man 2 starts in like 10 minutes. You need to leave me the fuck alone. And he's just being a kind of a dick. So I didn't really think of my actions, and I reached into my glove box, like my little armrest, and it essentially looked like I was about to pull out a gun. But I pulled out my ticket that I had just gotten 2 days ago, and I said, here's all the information you need. It turns out my plates were not up to date, with that little sticker. I didn't have my ID on me, which is illegal. I was driving 20 over the speed limit, which is illegal. I had just been arrested for speeding 2 days prior, or not arrested, pulled over for speeding 2 days prior. So speeding, no ID, no proof of insurance, no up-to-date sticker. I got off with a fucking warning somehow. And we made it to the movie on time.
That movie was fucking magic.
Yeah.
That cop knew. He knew.
Yep.
This motherfucker needs to see this movie. Maybe he saw the movie and he was like, oh, he's going
That's where they're going.
All right, we got to go. We got to do it.
Yep.
That's it.
So, yeah, I have no idea how I made it. And that, you know what? That might be white privilege. If we're being honest here, that might be white privilege.
What, you mean you wanting to go see a fucking movie with the most excellent Robert Downey Jr. in it? Are you fucking kidding?
Don't you mean Scarlett Johansson back when she was fine as fuck?
Oh yeah, boom.
God,
I guess
she
you
was
got
so
that
fine.
one.
But no, I'm talking
the
about
fake red hair and the leather clothes.
Dude, I love redheads. I love me some redheads.
I didn't hate Gwyneth Paltrow so much. She was pretty cute too in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow is cute, but like Pepper Potts is cute. Gwyneth Paltrow, I don't like
it's like
her.
A walking stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. With an attitude problem. It didn't
yeah.
even remember being in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Stupid ass idiot.
How do you
She's not even in that many movies. Like, how can you not remember? You've been in like 8 fucking Marvel movies, you idiot.
Yep. Yeah.
She needs to be canceled. Her and her dumb Apple kid.
Yeah. You know what's weird too is all these celebrities have trans kids. It's insane to me.
That's because they have ridiculous fucking names. Oh,
and
Apple
parents.
Oh, yeah.
And Northwest, is it? Don't they actually have a kid named North? Kanye and Kim?
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes, they do.
Oh, man.
And
granted,
they're getting divorced probably now.
Yep. Which is sad. I kind of like those two together.
Yeah. He was somewhat sane.
Yeah.
You know what that means, though? He's probably going to come out with an amazing album after this.
Yes. Yes, he will. I mean, his tragedy is our benefit, I guess. But anyways, back to these racist voter ID laws.
Ranting.
Yep. So racist voter ID laws. Matt, when you got your job, did you need to provide identification?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right.
In 2 forms.
Oh, yep. Let's see here.
Because in this country, we have to
make sure you're not
a citizen of this kid. Yep. Yeah. We're right to work.
Yep. Let's see. What else? If you were to get a vaccine, do you need an ID to get a vaccine?
You would think so, but apparently you don't need one with this COVID.
Really?
I don't think you need one for COVID. I think you can go get your ID. Let me verify that. But I'm pretty sure they're trying to make it very, very easy to get this.
Okay.
But I'm going to look.
Because one of the things I was thinking, if you need to provide a COVID passport to go into stores and to go into get a movie, to go do X, Y, and Z. It
says where. Okay, so when you, I typed in COVID vaccine ID like an idiot.
That's all right. Well, we'll assume you don't need one.
Yeah. Okay.
So my bad. So I'm batting 2 for 3 here. So, to get on a plane, have you ever flown before?
Yes.
Do you need an ID?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wait, one more thing here. You'll need to prove that you're eligible under the current vaccine phase, but you can choose to do so without a license or photo ID.
Oh, interesting. Yep. So I was incorrect.
So I guess you just tell them that you are in that phase, right? So if you're like 65 years old and it was that phase, you could go and say, dude, I'm like fucking 100, and they would give it to you, right? So
yeah,
whatever.
So you also have so you need one to get alcohol, you need one to work, you don't need one for a vaccine, which I guess is a good thing, since we also don't want illegal immigrants dying from coronavirus. You need one to fly. What else is there? Oh, at like I think it was the Coca-Cola. At the Coca-Cola shareholder meeting, you need to provide a form of identification. So
just to go to any speaking event that is run by a politician, you have to have some sort of identification to get in.
Yep.
If you go to a freaking concert
CPAC
to get
or
into that concert or whatever, if you're going to get a bracelet to be 21 or over to drink, you got to show fucking ID.
Yep.
When you go to fucking Canada to go fishing, even if you cross over in the fucking water, you got to show ID.
Yep. So there's plenty of things that you need an ID for. And black people, they need jobs. They need to fly. They sometimes want to go to Canada. I don't know why. They also...
They're exotic up there.
I guess. Yeah, that's true. They also drink sometimes. So, black people tend to have IDs. So can you explain to me how getting a voter ID law passed is racist? Can you formulate some sort of argument that makes any logical sense as to how voter ID laws are racist?
Because if you're not here legally, they want you to be able to vote. So if you're from another country, unless you're from America, if you come from any other country, even if you're a white country, it's probably
even if you're
a
Canadian
law. Yeah, it's even a racist law because then right? Because they want everybody to be able to vote, no matter if you're a citizen or not, right? That's what's the gist of this.
What's funny is I'm pretty sure almost every other country has voter ID laws. Like
I would assume so.
Like literally almost every other country except for the United States.
Mexico.
I'm pretty sure even Mexico. Does Mexico?
This is the research portion of our show where we do research and talk about it. But yeah, you would assume that most countries that have some sort of democracy in place where actual voting happens, there's some sort of identification to make sure that, the people voting are able to vote there, right? Because that would just be asinine, right? Because then you could just send, if you had no voter ID laws, right? You could go into a state,
Yep.
And you could have a whole group of people go into a state and turn the tide of the whole world. That's insanity.
So, you ready for this one?
Oh boy.
To vote in Mexico, every eligible Mexican citizen has to have a tamper-proof photo ID card with a thumbprint and an embossed hologram. All citizens
thumbprint, you said.
Yep, thumbprint. All citizens are required to personally enroll and show proof of birth or citizenship. Applicants are required to personally return to collect their voting credentials.
The hell you say?
Yeah. So Mexico has more stringent immigration laws and more stringent voter ID laws. So all this means to me, Mexico hates whitey. Mexico hates whitey, and they don't want us hopping the border, taking their food and water. So one of the other things too that annoys the shit out of me about this, there's several levels to my annoyance, and I'm going to save the N-word one for last. One of them is racist doesn't even have meaning anymore. The word racist doesn't mean anything. You have used that word so often, so vigorously, and so loosely that it means fuck all. Second, one of the things that people do when they don't know how to win an argument or get through their positions rationally, calmly, and intelligently, like I'm attempting to do here, minus the calmly and the rationally and intelligently, they resort to name calling because they don't have anything to refute your evidence. So, Matt, ask me, what does 2 plus 2 equal?
What does 2 plus 2 equal?
It equals 5. Is that correct?
That's not what I was taught.
Racist.
Racist. Wait.
Racist.
Yeah,
racist.
Yeah, but
but it's racist.
I'm holding up two fingers on one.
But it's racist.
And 2 fingers on
the
other hand.
You're a racist, Matt. That's all this is to me. I don't have anything to prove to you that 2 plus 2 does actually equal 5, and I can't refute your 2 plus 2 actually equals 4. So all I can do is continuously call you a racist until you throw your hands in the air and say, Jesus Christ, I'm arguing with a mental retard. And you stop arguing with them.
Yeah.
That's all.
I don't think yeah. If someone came up to me and was dead serious about it, I'd probably walk away.
Because how can you argue with stupid? They can beat you with experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
man, that's hey, if you say I'm a racist, I guess.
I'm just going to embrace it now. I don't care anymore. I don't care. Call me a racist, call me whatever you will, because I know deep down I'm not. And I don't have to prove it to you. I don't have to do fuck all for you. The people that I have in my life, the people that I talk to day in and day out, the people that I actually give a flying fuck about, know that I'm just an asshole. I'm not a racist. I'm just an asshole. Third thing. Because first we had now we got the first N-word to be said on this podcast.
Oh my God, you don't even have to say it.
I'm hyping it up. And it's probably gonna not land. I'm not gonna stick the landing. I'm nervous about it now. I have performance anxiety.
That's because it's racist.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And coming from a white guy, it's super duper racist. It's no longer a word. It's got so much power, much power that it could literally ruin your life.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I know nobody can see me right now, but it is the most fucking hilarious, ridiculous fucking thing I've ever heard. If someone kept coming up to me or calling me these horrible, horrible things, it's like, get the fuck away from me. Eventually, the shit stops. Or you beat the shit out of that motherfucker, and that's it. You take your lickings. At some point in our lives, we have to be responsible for our fucking selves, our own actions, right? So if I go around and start calling people, I'm not even going to say it now because you got it all hyped up. But if I was to go around and start doing all that, and someone came up and punched me in the face, that's it.
Right? Yeah, because that word does have context or it does have meaning behind it that can be used in a terrible way. It absolutely can. So context is key here. Context is key. So let's talk about the reason why it really makes me annoyed. So George Bush had this whole phrase, the soft bigotry of low expectation, where these stupid ass white savior liberals come in. They say, hey, you're black, you're oppressed. Let me help you. And actually, I'm going to rant on this for a little bit. So get fired up, get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm just going to spit this shit off the top of the dome, and whatever flies out my mouth is what comes out. So there was a article that they wanted white people to have their racial awakening. And this is my racial awakening. Black people are inferior to white people because they're constantly told by white people they're oppressed by white people. They are constantly told, you can't do this because X. You can't do this because Y. You can't do this because insert anything that white savior liberals have told black people in the past 300 years of existence, that they can't do it because they're black. That's what these white liberal fucks have done to black people. When you sit there and listen to all these Democrats say the right is racist, the right is the reason you're not succeeding, the right is the reason why you're in squalor, the right is the reason why you don't have a family, the right is the reason why you have gun violence through the fucking roof, the right is the reason why you no longer have families in the homes. That eventually will seep into your life, and you will continue to believe those things regardless of what you're shown, told, or believe. That is why black people are failing. They're constantly told they're not able to do these things because of whitey by whitey. So
I don't think it's that, though. I don't even think
it's a big part. It's a big, well, there are certain blacks in black, heavily predominantly like your Chicagos, your Detroits, your St. Louis's, where all the crime is happening and all the ghettos are.
No, like, I get it. I get what you're saying, but
I guess I shouldn't say all blacks. I should say the ones that are being heavily disenfranchised, the ones where you have a 64% single motherhood rate, the ones where I think it's now 2 million black children have been killed since the inception of Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a disgusting number right there. You know,
I agree with you that it's pushed like that, where they're being told that, but there are some smart fucking people out there that
absolutely
know that it's not, that it is. Like, I mean, if you look at some of these guys that are making money and they're on TV, they know that most of the shit coming off of the television for the news is bullshit that the government says. They know not to trust the government. You can't trust the fucking government. What has the government done for us as a people?
Nothing.
Do you feel safe? Do
No.
you feel secure? Do
No.
you feel like at any given moment that you could just randomly, your house can get broke into while you're sitting there and we're recording this podcast? Someone could come down into your house and blow your brains out. And you know what? The way it seems right now in this country, you'd be in the wrong because you tried to defend yourself against that man who just broke into your house. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He only came in to steal. He didn't come in to kill you. Then why was he carrying a weapon?
Yep. Well, and that's the thing too, is if I'm white, well, let me rephrase that. I'm white, so the news wouldn't give a fuck about it. But if it was the other way around and I ended up killing him and he was black, news would be all over it.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, like, okay, you get broken into, it's on, on Facebook or whatever, big deal. But if you shot a guy who's not white,
it's automatically racism. Automatically.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're going and you're guilty. As soon as that shit happens, you're guilty on television, you're guilty online, you're guilty everywhere, except for, people who actually know you and know that you didn't kill anybody just because.
Yep.
Hey, I'm not going to blame you for shooting at shadows in the fucking dark. Right?
Yeah.
I know that's not racist. That's me trying to shoot a fucking ghost because, in the heat of the moment, I've seen a lot of movies where ghosts actually could kill you, so fuck,
So that's one of my biggest annoyances. You have these white savior liberals who feel like they know what black people need above black people. Well, first of all, they're looking for government, and I heard this I think it was a couple days ago, and it was the most clear and succinct thing I've ever heard in my life. They're looking for government solutions to a family problem. And that problem is they don't have families. They don't have dads in the homes. The reason they don't have dads in the homes is because of these. Well, it's partly government's fault. And let me rephrase that. It's almost entirely government's fault.
It might be the woman's fault too.
And it might be the woman's fault.
They
ladies.
really are pain in the ass, especially when children are involved. Oh my God.
And ladies, you need to pick better men. Like, if I'm being completely honest, pick better men. Like, this is not 90% men's fault. I'll give it like a 75-25. 25% of that is ladies, you need to learn how to pick better men.
Or smack that motherfucker and control that man.
Yeah.
Something.
Give him the Gluck Gluck 3000, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
oh boy.
A big part of it is, and this is my personal, granted, I was raised by a single mom who, bless her heart, she tolerated me for way too long, and she's still tolerating me for way too long. But she was a hard ass bitch. She fucking ran me over with a car. Like,
see, I bet you won't do that again.
Fuck no. Granted, that time I still dispute that with her to this day. She was in the wrong, I was in the right, and she just decided to hit me with a car.
You stood behind the fucking thing.
Hey,
I hit you too.
I was protecting my car. She was pushing it out into the street. She was very angry that day. But anyway, I do think a big issue is that they don't have that masculine male role model in their lives to teach them how to act like quote unquote men. This is realistically, this is a male problem. I mean, men don't have good father figures anymore. Most teachers from the age of kindergarten up to 9th grade, they're women. Most babysitters and daycare people, women. So it's not a quote unquote toxic masculinity issue. It's a quote unquote lack of masculinity issue. And that's for black and white men, not just, well, let me rephrase that. We keep getting caught in this dichotomy of black and white. It's all men, Mexican men, white men, Asian, well, not necessarily Asian men. You get what I'm saying. Families in general, they lack a masculine role model. So, and then now I don't feel like the N word's going to be as impassioned here, so it might not get dropped tonight. Because now I'm all up on this high of masculine father figures.
And what kind of masculine father figure is like that? Well, I mean, unless you're in the hood.
Yeah.
Right. So who do these kids have to look up to? The local dudes.
Drug dealers, the ones that are taking care of them.
The dudes maybe in the high schools that, hang out around the basketball court, and
rap artists who are all about selling drugs, killing people.
Let you have a swig of their Gatorade that might just have vodka in it or something. And, hey, hold my cigarette, and it's really just a big fat joint. You never, that's who these guys might have to look up to. And
that's, personally, I would not want my kids looking up to that. But we also shouldn't criminalize these things, which take fathers out of the homes. That's like BLM has one very valid point. We should get rid of the 3-strike law for nonviolent drug offenders. Anyone that's in jail for having, I don't know what's a personal amount of weed. I don't really know.
I mean, if you got any more, unless, man, I don't even know. It's been so long since I've rode around with weed, but like a personal amount. If I was driving in a car going somewhere and I was going to plan on it, it'd be like a joint, which is maybe up to a gram. Which ain't a lot. that's like personal use. I mean, if you've got a freaking ounce in your hand, and I don't want to get nobody in trouble, and I don't want to sound like a freaking negative Nancy or nothing, because I do enjoy my shit. However, some people rolling around with a whole huge ounce or more than that, that's fucking overkill. Unless you're going to a party that you're gonna get everybody there high on. But then
So,
again, that's no longer personal use, right?
yeah. So half an ounce, we'll say,
Sure.
maybe.
Sure.
If you're rolling around with anything more than half an ounce,
Yeah.
you shouldn't even be looked at any different than me driving around with no ounces on my
Yeah.
person.
Well,
Like,
personal amount in California is like 4 ounces or some shit like that, because you go to
Jesus.
the dispensary, buy your shit for the month or whatever, and then drive home with it. And also out there, you can grow like 12 goddamn plants in your house. So it really
Yeah.
it depends on
Oh,
whatever
and
the
that's the
law
thing too.
is.
State law should dictate. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, less than in Connecticut when I lived there. I grew up there, so it was less than 4 ounces was a misdemeanor. You know what I mean? Which is a
Hmm.
lot of fucking weed. That's a quarter pound. That's
Yeah.
almost a quarter pound of weed.
What's
But
funny too is I have never done drugs in my life, but I have held an entire pound of marijuana in my hand
yeah,
in a
yeah,
fucking baggie, a
it's a
Ziploc
lot.
fucking bag.
It's a
It's a
lot.
fucking lot.
Like you wouldn't even need that much
Yeah.
ever at one time ever.
Yep.
Unless you're
That's-
gonna keep that shit. I mean, come on.
yeah. So it's one of those things where, and guess who was the one that signed in that 1994 crime bill with those 3 strike laws? Our
Oh my
great
god.
leader,
Yes.
Joe Biden.
Yes.
So, and
They
I used
call him
to.
Bo
Oh yeah, yep. I
because
used
of
to
his
never.
stupid kid.
Yeah, is one that got exposed to depleted uranium or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so that's I used to not really believe in systematic racism, but I guess that term is a really hard term to define. But I would honestly say the 1994 crime bill, that would probably be systematic racism to me. Um, and I don't know personally if I would define it as something that has disparate outcomes, meaning it only affects black people, as like with crack cocaine versus cocaine, was it, or whatever, back during Reagan era, where you got more time for this one and less time for this one. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was like yeah, during the Reagan era. That's when the crack was a big deal. Remember the CIA
Yeah,
flooded LA with that shit, I mean,
yeah. So,
it's the
and
only way
that's,
the government makes money is by selling drugs. Like, let's
yep,
face it.
and guns,
Selling drugs, yeah, and guns, and you arrest the people that have the drugs.
and use them
They
for
tell
slave
you
labor.
that's right, and they pass it on down.
Yep,
Kamala Harris loved
yep,
using prisoners for slave labor.
yep. She
One
paid
day
them a
there will,
dollar,
yeah, one day
dollar.
there will be a plaque on some highway that says built by the amazing death row inmates of fucking, I don't know, Pasadena or whatever. I don't
California.
fucking know. Yeah. Some asshole lick fucking prison in fucking
Yep.
California. They built this highway.
And it's all thanks to Kamala Harris and her slave
Yeah.
labor.
And the government will pay for Morgan Freeman to narrate what it was like for those guys to work on, and do their American duty and build this highway, even though they're a bunch of fucking criminals, sucking assholes.
Yep. And Kamala Harris kept them there for past their sentencing, just to use them as slave labor. But she's the great savior of all the black people. Fucking dumbass bitch.
She's dumb.
Yep. And don't get me wrong, I'm down for a female president if that female president is like a Tulsi Gabbard or something, or like a Kayleigh McEnany. I don't even know Kayleigh McEnany's policy positions, but Jesus, dear Lord Almighty, she has no fear in her, and I feel like
Yeah,
she
that
would
girl
just,
can talk.
yeah, and she does not give a fuck about anything. She will say whatever she wants. I like that
Yep.
girl. I don't even know her policy positions. I just like her because she's got balls.
Yeah.
But Kamala Harris is just a bitch.
No,
But
just vote
anyway,
for. Let's just bring Hillary Clinton out of the fucking tomb, and let
out of
her
her
fucking
crypt.
come in now. Yeah, let that bitch come up now, and let her have her freaking time in the sun and do all
Yep.
her dumb shit too, and let these motherfuckers just let them run roughshod on the whole country. Fuck it, who cares?
Yep. I mean, it's all honestly to me, it's all just a it's a floor show. It's all a floor show because these people go and they go to the same restaurants, the same bars, the same fucking whorehouses, the same strip clubs. They go all to the same places. They all shake the same hands. They all suck the same dicks. I just the fact that you have Lindsey Graham tweeting at AOC, "Oh, you're a dumb bitch," blah 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 blah, and AOC tweeting back at him, or no, this was Kamala Harris. Lindsey Graham tweeting at Kamala Harris, blah blah blah, you're a dumb bitch, and then you had Kamala Harris tweeting back at Lindsey Graham, "Oh, you're a fat prick bastard," and then they were shaking hands the next day, like nothing happened. How is that even a thing? How is that even possible? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I hold grudges a little bit longer than a day.
Yeah, that's why we're not politicians.
Yeah,
because we would just punch those motherfuckers right in the face.
right in their mouths.
You know?
Right in their
I'd be like, dude,
mouths.
I'll see you tomorrow on the steps of work, motherfucker. Yep. And let me tell you, you better bring your heavy briefcase because you're going to need it. I'm going to punch you so hard in the fucking mouth. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. I would have killed AOC by now. I would have literally curb stomped her fucking. Never mind what I was about to say. I would have curb stomped her. Like on the Lincoln steps. Like I cannot stand how
really
stupid.
Mad. You're so angry. I could see it.
I am, dude.
Your face is almost the color of your walls.
She's so dumb. I just can't stand her. I've never paid attention to politics before, but
Isn't
I can
it amazing.
No, it's awful. I can almost guarantee you, she has the single lowest IQ of any politician to ever exist. And part of me, honestly, you know, not to piss off the one woman that listens to this show, not to piss her off, but I think we need to repeal the 19th Amendment and tell women to go fuck themselves and get back in the kitchen. Jesus Christ, man.
Hey, some of them might like that idea. You never know.
What's funny is...
Hey, I'm just saying.
More women didn't want the right to vote than did want the right to vote. Which is kind of funny.
That's one more thing they have to do.
Well, they didn't want to have to sign up for the draft. They didn't want to have to sign up for selective services. They didn't want to have all the responsibilities that came along with voting. So there were actually quite a few women that were not in favor of having the right to vote.
See, they used the terms back in the 30s and 40s. It's your American duty.
Yep.
Stuff like that, right? So then
it's also your American duty not to be a fucking moron.
Yeah. So, man, I feel bad for the ladies that were staying at home though, right? So they get up in the morning, they got to cook the breakfast, they got to get all the kids ready for school, the kids got to go to school, the lunch is made, all this shit. Then once the husband's off to work, they got to get themselves all dolled up, right? Because you can't have your husband coming home from work looking like a slob, right? You're not in your curlers still. You got to look different. So you got to get all dolled up. You go to the market, you get the food. You come home, you cook the food. Everybody comes home. The kids do their shit. You wash them, feed them. They go to bed. Husband comes home. Boom. Food, liquor, sex, bed. Right?
See, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a pretty damn good life.
So then they added things like
the dishwasher.
well, no, not the appliances yet. Then this is what happens, right? So, and I think women had the right to vote at that point.
I think in the 20s, I think is when they gained it.
They got, So then, right, so they're living this life, right? The fucking depression's over, and all of a sudden we're in a war.
Yep.
A big fucking war. And what happens? All the men leave. The women gotta step up and do the jobs that the men were doing, right? So building airplanes, making bullets, fucking training horses. I don't know. All the dumb shit men were doing. Right? Playing fucking baseball, playing fucking football. You didn't see the Canadians going to war, so hockey kept being a man sport. That's why it's a man sport now. So, right? So you had all this happen.
I've seen LeBron James roll his fucking ankle and cry like a little bitch.
Yeah.
And then you see these dudes on the hockey field or the rugby field get knocked the fuck out cold and say, "Coach, put me back in."
Yeah. In the meantime, there's women in the military that are full on pregnant that just need a uniform so they can carry their fucking M4 and go blow some fucking stupid idiot's face off. And I gotta watch a fucking loser fucking jerk off fucking roll his ankle like a bitch.
Yep.
Who got paid way more than any of those people running around the fucking desert jungle in their pregnant suits with their fucking guns. And that motherfucker's making millions and them bitches are making minimum fucking wage.
Yep.
Because let's face it, the military is almost a minimum wage job unless you keep advancing, right?
Yep.
You're going to get the promotion as you go up in rank. And in order to stay in the military, you have to go up in rank. And it's not like, oh, I could be in this rank for fucking like 10 years. No, you got to keep going.
Yep.
Right? So,
yeah,
I forgot what got us onto this, but I got really annoyed.
Well, LeBron James just does something to me where it makes
he wants to drive the N-word out of me.
It really does. I cannot stand LeBron James. LeBron James is a 6'7" muscular black dude, right? He's got the reach on me, but dear Lord, if I could get him on the ground, I will fucking massacre LeBron James. I can't stand him.
You could just bear hug his giant penis.
I could do that. I would. You know what? I would probably swallow my pride and my manliness for about a 10 minutes. I would seduce LeBron James, try to start to suck his dick, and I'd bite his dick off just to spite him. Just to spite him.
You only save the willing blowjob for prison. If you're in a death-defying situation in prison, you never let a man's penis near your mouth.
See, that's how much I hate LeBron James. Is I'm willing to go that far.
You should change the title of this to "Never Let a Penis near your mouth."
Oh Lord! Anyone that makes it into this episode is going to be like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" I fucking hate LeBron James, okay? I just can't stand his sissy lily bitch whining about driving a Tesla and being arrested for driving a Tesla while black. That never happens to you, LeBron James. You live in a lily-gated fucking community where armed guards are patrolling 24/18, and you've never seen I fucking hate LeBron James.
The only time a Tesla is even being pulled over is if it's caught on fire and the driver doesn't fucking know.
Yes. Fucking hate him so much. Ugh. Anyways, let's get back to women.
You know why? He's only famous because Kobe's dead.
He's only famous because he's the top recruit out of high school who didn't go to college and chose to play basketball and is a very good athletic performer in the sport of basketball.
What is he outside of it?
He's actually a very smart and savvy businessman as well. He's made very smart and savvy business decisions. But that doesn't subtract from the fact that I fucking hate LeBron James with a passion more than the fire of 1,000 dying suns.
And for those of you that don't know, that's that's a lot of fucking fire.
It's a lot of fury and anger towards LeBron James, who's never said a word to me or done anything to slight me in any way other than being a fucking moron.
That's like the worse than the fires of Mordor.
Exactly.
Holy cow. The fucking fires of Mount Doom. Right?
Anyways, let's get back to women losing the right to vote.
I'm sorry.
And talk about but yes,
But you understand what I'm saying about the women, right? So they go through all that. Then they add another thing. It's voting, right? Then they're like, so now they can do whatever they want, right? They can vote however they want. But how were women voting then? They didn't know, right?
Well, I think they were voting with their husbands.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're getting their news from who? Either the little section they're reading in the newspaper or their husband, right?
Yep.
Not a lot of women are going against that. So, and shit, that's okay. I bet they still had to show ID.
I don't think they did.
No, they might not have. Oh, you're a woman? Sure. This is how you do it, toots.
Yep.
And clap them on the butt.
Toots.
Yeah, that's how they used to talk back then, right?
Yep.
Hi, you toots. Hey, doll.
Yep. That's one I really like is doll.
Yeah, I used to say it all the time, and then someone told me if I ever called them doll again, I'd be dead. So I just didn't. I stopped saying it. I was like, oh, maybe that's too.
I'm just gonna
misogynistic. Is it misogyny?
Yes. Yep.
I don't know the fucking word. You know why I don't know the word? I used to know the words, but I don't know the words because they keep changing the fucking definitions of all the fucking words I use.
Apparently, there's a new thing called neo man. They've changed. It's no longer a cis male, or what is it? It's no longer biological male and female. It's like NATO male and NATO female.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can find out what it is.
Well, I'll tell you what. Women should have the right to vote, by the way. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying, like I said, probably the very first episode, why not have a fucking test so people understand what the fuck it means to go out and vote? Plus, then the government can charge you to take the test. They'll make money, right? They'll charge you in your taxes probably. They'll make money. You'll have your little ID card that says you passed the fucking test, right? It'll have a number. They could put your little number on it. It doesn't even have to have your dumbass picture. It could just whatever. It has to have your picture. Let's just face it. An ID is identification, right? Your face on a picture, on a little card with your fucking name and your freaking height and your weight, and who cares? Right?
Just a bunch of fucking assholes.
I just don't understand why it's such a big deal that now all of a sudden we have to get rid of IDing people to make sure that they're actually supposed to be here. It's like if we were in another country, right? I watched this show with my wife, right? It's called 90 Day Fiance. This won't take very long while you're researching that, okay? It's called 90 Day Fiance. It's fucking ridiculous, okay? You got these fucking ladies and these fucking dudes, and sometimes it's both, right? So anyway, white lady wants to move to fucking Africa, right? She wants to move to fucking Africa and marry this guy and live in Africa. Or no, wait, was it Africa? And it's one of those freaking countries, right? They're black in that country, by the way. Anyway, so they're there, okay? Then, so the girl, they gotta get married. It's just like here. These visas all work pretty much the same, right? You have this amount of time to have your marriage done so that the country you are in will allow you to stay, right? You have to have an ID for that.
That is correct.
Okay. Your marriage, when you get married in a state, you have to show identification. You have to show your social. Babe, when we got married, we have to show the social and our IDs, right? Yep. And mail. Like where we live.
You need like a recent bill.
Yeah, like you need to prove that
like
you
10
are
different
who you
things.
are. Yeah, it's fucking nuts. And because I've been divorced, I had to go and I had to show them that I had already done that.
Yep.
And a birth certificate, bro. We both had to have birth certificates, fucking socials, picture IDs, a bill, our fucking you know, because of the mail, right? To prove that you live where you live. That's just to stand in front of your family and get a fucking piece of paper that says you two are now joined.
Yep.
So if going to a fucking building where your race actually does not matter and you go into an area to vote, the fucking person you're voting for doesn't know if you're black or white. It doesn't fucking matter. So why shouldn't you have a fucking ID that at least shows
to prove you live there
citizen?
and you're a United States citizen and you aren't 16 and trying to vote like fucking the Democrats want to?
Yeah. What the fuck, America?
Yeah. What the fuck, America? It's ridiculous. It's anytime they resort to name calling, they've proven they've already lost the argument. But I don't want to hop off of that quick. This one, Kate Sonson, it's totally okay to have the debate and disagree, but folks in the media, the term biological males is a serious anti-trans slur. You should not use it without noting that. This was a tweet.
Brand new, made up bullshit. Because I was born a man. I'm a biological male. This is a scientific fucking term that has been used by the fucking media all this in last year.
Yep.
So now all the media is fucking racist now too. We're bigoted against the fucking trans people.
They're transphobic. But this is a most recent tweet from some verified checkmark cunt on March 17th, 2021. So, yep, you can no longer use the term biological male.
That's insane.
Yep.
I'm literally, every single person we see at work, I'm going to be like, dude, you're not even a biological male. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, I'm done
you're no
playing.
Longer a biological male. Now you're just, what is it? What are we supposed to say now?
I don't even know. I think it's like
kidding me?
Natal male, like because there's prenatal. I don't even know. But I no longer will live in their reality. I just don't, and this is why we talked earlier on this, how you have your Twitter, this is your ministry of truth. Twitter, your Googles, your Facebooks, your YouTubes, your Instagrams, your every social media website. They are socially engineering society to be what they want it to be. And that's not a good thing, nor is it morally right to do. Let society be society. And if society decides saying the N-word is bad, like society has chosen to say, then it's a bad thing to say the word. I disagree. A word is a word. But I don't run around saying it 100 times a day, not expecting to get punched in the mouth. Let society determine what means what. And if we decide as a whole society to accept these trans people into society, like I have a friend who I played video games with many a times. She was born Drew. Her name, which she prefers to be called, is Jen. I don't have an issue calling her Jen. Because she's not like, hey, you need to call me this and you need to call me it now. She says, hey, I really prefer to be called Jen. Would you mind? And I'm like, yeah, sure, not a problem. And then we go on with our day, treating each other like normal, decent humans and have decent human interactions. Because fuck you. Because fuck you. Fucking imbeciles.
We can't have decent interactions because people all want to fight each other like a bunch of little bitches.
Well, I think,
over nothing.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sit there and go, my friend Jake, I can't say he, I got to assume that you know that I got to take into account that Jake might be sensitive to the word he. So I got to be like, my friend Jake, they fucking went to the fucking this and then they, are you fucking kidding me? I have never heard so much bullshit in my life.
As a sentence, that does, I failed high school because of English. Even I know as a sentence, that makes no fucking sense. Like
stupid.
Yeah. I don't know how sentences are supposed to be properly formed. I like words. Like words are something I very much appreciate. I love to wordsmith things. I unfortunately say fuck way too often. But I, from time to time, have been known to have very flowery words to describe things and make very beautiful sentences that are very, granted, very isn't a very good descriptor either.
It's stupid that we focus on personal pronouns and not just the pronoun. Your name is Jake.
Or the individual. Matt. Yes.
That's my pronoun. Call me fucking Matt, you stupid motherfuckers. And then call him Jake or fucking asshole or whatever the hell you want to call us. It's fine. I'm just saying, I don't need my personal pronoun
exactly
out there. It doesn't fucking matter.
And that's one of those things. I know we talked about a while back the trans thing when we were talking about the cabinet members, and we did a little bit of a deeper dive on Rachel Levin.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And we talked about how schizophrenia and transgenderism are the two closest related suicide rates of mental disorders. If you're so soft that me not calling you they, them, or she, her, or Zer, or insert any other weird, strange thing that you deem I must call you. If you're so sensitive that offends you so much you want to commit suicide, that's a you problem, not a me problem. I will call you by your name, and you and I can have a polite, civil conversation, and I will try to offend you the least amount possible. If I'm having a conversation with a trans person, I will try to not piss them off and not dehumanize them as much as possible. But I will not bend reality to their will.
It's all virtue signaling, man.
Yep. And I don't do it.
I'm better than you. I'm better than you because I put my he, him, her, his, whatever, all that shit. Because that is the moral, that's moral correctness, right?
Yep.
So that's
the socially deemed moral, or the artificially engineered moral correctness,
right?
Because Twitter doesn't mean fucking anything. No. Twitter is this stupid ass platform where people say their opinions like anyone thinks they fucking matter, and then they expect everyone to treat them like a god king emperor. And then anytime they have the slightest bit of trials and tribulations on Twitter, they cry to Twitter gods and ask them to be banned so they don't have to hear opinions that they don't like.
Well, isn't that what we're doing too? Well, no, not really though, right? We're saying the things that we don't like, but
we're just having a kind, calm, rational discussion, and people are choosing to listen.
Yeah,
That's what
we
we're
can get
doing.
in arguments. I could get in an argument with you, and I don't care.
Yeah. Because
I could tell you till I'm blue in the face that they're fucking 6 foot tall fucking penguins in the Antarctic that are albino that speak fucking German and shoot fucking black people. And you will be like, dude, you're fucking nuts. And we can have an argument about it. And I'll fucking argue and make points, and you'll fucking be like, dude, you're crazy. And I'll tell you that those
like
fucking penguins
with chemtrails,
live.
with Joe and chemtrails.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't disagree that chemtrails are a thing. I just don't know enough about them to have an argument with him.
No. Well, there's a lot of places that like that kind of stuff. They call it cloud seeding, right?
Yep.
And all the places where they have farms and it doesn't snow very much anymore, and all these things. There's a lot of different reasons why they do it. And for guys like Joe, who believe that it's a way to keep the population sterile, nobody cares if you are fucking sterile, dude. Nobody is going to, because once you hit a certain age, you really probably don't want to procreate.
Yep.
You might want to procreate, but you don't want to procreate.
You might want to fuck, but you might want to get your tubes tied.
Right. Or your balls severed or whatever the fuck they
I don't know what we call them for. You might want to get the snip, essentially. Yeah. So, but back to the whole, rant about voter ID laws. We'll do a brief synopsis of it. Black people aren't inferior, and they have jobs and they have money and they can find out where the DMV is. And then also, I'm sick of these white savior liberals who feel the need to save every black person's soul, even though the black people that they don't like, they call them coons and Uncle Toms and Yesa Mastas and all that other stuff. I'm sick of these. Whenever anyone says Black Lives Matter and they yell it at you and they demand that you say it back to them and you raise a fist, all you have to do is ask them very politely and calmly, of which black lives do you mean? Do you mean the 10 that probably die during the course of the week in Chicago every week? Do you mean the 2 million that were aborted because of Planned Parenthood, thanks to Margaret Sanger, who is an avowed racist and thinks we need to wipe them out? I don't have her quotes off the top of my head, but she essentially said black people are the scourge of the earth and we need to eradicate them.
Is she related to Nancy Pelosi?
I have no idea, but I wouldn't doubt it.
That was my joke of the day.
You also have the black people that happen to be conservative, like Candace Owens, like the Hodge twins. There's so many other black people that are conservative that they don't matter to BLM because they have a different opinion. So the thing that annoys me to no end is these, and I'm going to rail against communities. This is going to be the hill I die on. The community's hill. Fuck the gay community. Fuck the straight community. Fuck the blacks community. Fuck the white community. Fuck all the communities. Give me the individual. That's all I care about. I'm a radical individualist, and I will die on that hill till the day I get shot in the fucking face because some radical communist or a communist decides that my life doesn't matter anymore. Because I will defend any black person's right to my death, and I will demand that they have the same rights I do. Or a straight person, or a black person, a gay person, any individual. We should all live under the same laws and the same rights. And I just kind of wanted to go on a tangent of how the political elites don't live under the same laws that we do. But that's a story for another day. And we'll one day we'll go on a giant rant of all these people that should be in prison Maybe we'll do that one day. We'll sit down and we'll look at all the members in the House and all past members in the House that have committed severe crimes against freedom and humanity, and how much of them should be in prison. That could be a fun.
I will say, you have failed this city.
Exactly.
You have failed this country.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a Arrow reference, in case anyone.
I'm gonna tell you a joke before we sign off tonight.
Women's rights.
Kinda. The joke is called "Make Me Look Sexy," and this is on a website called Jokes of the Day. So they're really stupid jokes. This one's titled "Make Me Look Sexy." It says, "I sat in my chair, my hairstylist chair, and said, 'Make me look sexy.' Then she got drunk."
I guess, you know what? So I have a joke. I guess
tell the joke.
It would be a perfect time to tell the joke, since it didn't happen.
Chinese kid joke yet?
Oh yeah, go ahead. You can tell the Chinese kid joke.
No, you tell the joke.
Wait, what one?
The one that you didn't get to tell yet.
Oh, okay. I have to save that for the very last thing that we say on the podcast. But no, there's a. I don't know if I could say it. But no, jokes are amazing. I love jokes. There is nothing, absolutely nothing to me that is off limits in joke form. I will say, "Oh dear Lord, I'm so offended," but I'm not actually offended. I'm just like, "Holy shit, that's dark." Like, one of Jimmy Carr, he has a joke, and it goes, "They say there's safety in numbers. Tell that to 6 million Jews." And then there's so many jokes that are just awful.
Do you want to hear something interesting?
Sure.
About concentration camps and Jews?
Sure.
Did you know that the Jewish people were not the only ones in concentration camps? I know a lot of people know that, and they hear, "Oh, he oppressed everybody and this person and that person," but it was all these different races. Did you know that when the Allied forces went into Dachau, that's one of the big ones, the oldest ones they had. Every fucking country in Europe was represented in that in that camp. So,
yep.
While yes, the Jews were massacred, let's not forget everybody else too.
Yep. I also have a
virtue signaling fucking pussies.
I'm gonna make a joke at the expense of Jews again, because I have no problem being called a Nazi, since that doesn't mean anything anymore. What's the difference between Jews and Santa?
I don't know.
Santa goes down the chimney.
And for some reason, I knew it when you were saying it, and oh, yep, I remember that one.
It's awful. It is
like
so
a terrible
awful.
dad joke. It's like an awful dad joke.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that'll be enough of an episode for today. And
yeah, I hope everybody had fun listening to us not do anything.
Yeah, this was just a random ass conversation about shit that we're sick of and why I hate LeBron James.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Maybe that's what we should title this episode. Why I hate LeBron James.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the whole episode would be relevant to that title.
Yeah. Sure. Yep. He's just so stupid, yet I just can't fucking stand him. I can't fucking stand him.
He's
like the
no
big
Black Mamba.
Yeah, that is true. Kobe for life. I just, what's funny is I never watched basketball all that much, but one of my favorite players was Allen Iverson.
Oh, I remember the Iverson.
Yep. And so, yeah, I just can't stand him because he has such a big, and granted, he's done great things in the communities he's played basketball in. He started a whole fucking school down in He was playing the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think. He started a whole fucking school. I mean, that's fantastic. He's doing some decent things with his money. He's helping kids get education. That's great. I love it. But you have so many people that follow you on Twitter, and you say the dumbest fucking things. Yeah. You're borderline AOC levels of retarded, LeBron James, when you're on Twitter.
And Kanye gets a pass because he's a motherfucking genius.
Yes. So.
What the fuck, America?
What the fuck, America? That'll be the end of the episode, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.